Alright, so here's a little video on CrazyPad app. Had a few requests for it to show how it works so people know how it works before they buy it. So it's a little XY coordinate experimental music app, and the way that it works is I'm going to open up my saved samples. So you load your samples up here. And then so each one, once you pick on a range, you'll come down with the And Explorer, and you'll pick your file, and it'll do a little green check mark there. Then you click OK, and then it'll show you your whole file path and where that waveform or whatever file that you pick. It'll work with any of the like MP3, WAV, anything that the Android format natively supports. So then how it works is, I'm going to undo that. So what you do is you drag the little green ball around, and it'll play the sample. If you click on that repeat, it will repeat, and then you can set by default it goes to 4,000 milliseconds. I have it at 1,000 milliseconds. You can change that to whatever you want. And then you can also click on program the ball, so that when you can have a timer up here, set to 64 by default. You can set to 32 or whatever else you want. So when the timer hits, say 30, I want to move the ball to 30, Y 60, and then I'm going to click on start timer. And you just heard it play. And then what it's doing over here is it turns the little ball red so that you can't move it while it's in the program the ball / sequencing mode. And that's pretty much all it does. And you one thing here on the timer, when the timer hits, you can use 0, but you can't use 32 if it's 32. So just FYI. Alright, so this is Drums and Stabs Fixed. It's one of my music apps, and I'm just going to run you through quick, show you how it works. So I'm going to open up my 606 kit. It works on all your own samples, so you load your own waveforms or MP3s into this program. And the way that you do that is by clicking on the purple bar. It says load samples and arpeggiator. And so click on the sample, you use And Explorer, and you select your sample, your drum kit, your drum sample that you've downloaded on your own. And so these little slider bars here are arpeggiators, and really they only work all the way to the left, and so you'll get like an arpeggiation effect over here on the left side. The reason that it starts in the middle is because of the way it looks on a phone. It only goes over to here on a phone. So it's really designed for a phone, but it works on the tablet just fine. And so there's 16 samples here, so that's how you load the samples. So how do you play the samples? Click on pads, the green bar at the top there, and if you click on here, they will loop once they're checked, and they'll flash. So if you stop all, it's going to clear all. So go back to the main screen, click on the blue bar, which is timings. So here you can set timings for each individual loop. And so and then once you set your timing over here, say I wanted this to be at 1,000 milliseconds instead of 4,000 milliseconds to loop, Then I would click on activated timing changes now. It says timing's activated down there, and then that loop will play every second. You can barely hear that. It's a kick. Okay, so that's the one mode. You can also do the loop off mode, and what you do there is you make your sample red, and then no need to hit activated timing changes now because we're not in that mode. The red mode is the recording mode. So go back to the main, go back to the pads. You're going to see that these samples are all now red. And then there's this little area down here to start recording. So click on start recording. It says recording buffer reset. As soon as you play the first red button, it'll record that. So here we go. As you see, the check marks slowly go away once the sample is played. So I want to play that back. Alright, so, but I want it to keep on playing, so I click on the little loop section there, and then I click on play. So it's going to keep on playing that little drum pattern that I created. Okay, there's no indicator of what it's playing, it's recorded in memory and it plays those samples. So then you can also play these other loops sampled while that in memory is still playing back. So it creates this kind of glitchy drum kit playback instrument. So that's what it does. And if you ever get stuck in this playing mode, uncheck that loop there and it'll stop that stuff there. So this is Looper Fixed. This app allows you to loop up to 4 samples, and the way that you do that is you click on the the orange bar here that says SD Picker. So I'm gonna pick a sample from my music file, a previous used sample in this case. Click up there to make the it's gonna use And Explorer. If you don't have that installed, it'll ask you to install it. Click OK, and then you can play that sample and it will play looped. Now it's green over here. It's also green on the other screen, so you can flip back and forth and see that what sample is playing. There is a stopwatch in this app. If you click start and then stop, it'll show you how many seconds that was. Now you can have, this is a sample 1, you can click on set 1 timing 1 set. It'll change this over here and it'll loop it faster, as you can hear. Now the timing is based in milliseconds, so that's how it's calculated. So again, there's 4 samples here. You can play it once, you can play it a one-off, and then, or you can play it in loop mode. Now there's also a sequence mode, and this timer can be set to anything. It's by default 64. We can set it to 32. And then when timer hits, say 30, I want to play my SD card sample 1. It can be any. It doesn't have to be on an SD card. That's just the terminology that I used for this app. It can be on your hard drive as well. So I'm gonna click on start. When it hits 30. It's going to play that sample. So you can do that with You can do that with three more samples here. There's a total of 4 samples that can be um, sequenced, and that's it. So this is Sequencer Fixed. It is an app for music sequencing. So click on Open in the Steps editor here, and you can see there are 32 steps that you can fill, and so you select a sample, and I'm going to use one that I just used a second ago, and this one, it'll show you the path file to your sample. Now when you select these samples, it uses And Explorer. You'll need to have that installed on your Android device for this to work. And if you don't have it installed, when you install the app, it'll ask you, would you like to install it? You need to have it installed. It won't work without it. It's free to download. So here I'm going to pick one more sample. And so now I got step 1 and step 6. So I'm going to play the sequence. And now it's going to be playing at 60 BPM. I can change that to anything really. I can change it to 600 BPM. So I'm going to set the BPM. And so it goes a lot faster. You can, it's kind of fun. You can get really high on the BPM even as well. Let's try 6,000. So you can imagine with 32 steps and a bunch of different samples going on, you can get some pretty crazy sounds. So yeah, if you have any questions, there's a little readme here. There's a couple of notes just to remember, but that's basically it. And you can save your settings, and you can also remove. One note on the removing: if you click on remove, you can remove something by clicking it, and then it will remove. So that's it. Email me if you have any questions, and have fun.